Hello everybody. We're rapidly coming on the end of the semester. I'm sure everybody's quite ready for a break. We've had a very busy semester here, so please remember everything is due by tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So those up down near Evansville or up near Valpo in Chicago, make sure you remember the time adjustment. So 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Please get everything to me. One thing I like to do in the classroom, especially in this class, is include random libraries that I've stumbled across over the years that are very, very useful. And I haven't done any of that this summer, so I thought, well, maybe as a parting gift, show a couple of those. A couple that would be real useful. So let's jump in there and look at some useful libraries that aren't mentioned. One thing you may have noticed is academia moves slow, so the second one I have on mind today should already be mentioned in classes, but academia moves slow sometimes, so it'll probably be a couple more years before it gets brought up in class, but we'll see that here in just a second. So let's go ahead and get started with these. Okay, so the first one I want to look at here, it will be very useful. Actually, let's just look at what it does first, and then we'll talk about some potential uses for it. So these are just some libraries that I've found to be very useful over the years. The first one to install, so we'll call up our installer. Install, it'll be pyautogui, and we'll just actually look at what it does and then talk about it a little. Well, I guess I could say this will give us control over our inputs. So kind of take the place of the mouse and automate the mouse and the keyboard functionality. It's already satisfied on mine, but on yours, when you type that line, you'll see the little meters. Oh, which by the way, if you want those meters, that's TQDM. It stands for, it's the Arabic word for processes. So that with some vowels in there so it's pronounceable is Arabic for processes. And just pip install TQDM. And then you treat it sort of like the range function, so like for I in TQDM, and then some criteria for how many times to run. And that'll show the meters in the console outputs. It's already installed on mine, so let's move over to the working directory documents/delete and make a new item here with a path. Call it move stuff.py. That sounds like a good name. So now I need to probably edit that. I'll just use edit. I'll just use Atom. So Atom with move stuff.py. Okay, so got the Python script. Obviously, the first thing we want to do is import that library we just brought in. And normally I would do something like as PYG or something abbreviated that's easier to work with. But since this is an example, I'm going to type out pyautogui every time. And I guess a good first thing is to show what it does. So pyautogui.move, and let's say 111.222. That'll work for a first example. I'll save that and come back over to PowerShell here. Well, I'm in a text editor, so I could just take Control-Tick and use the PowerShell here, but I want to do something. So I'll come right over here and run that. So Python move stuff.py. And did you see what happened to my mouse there? If you pay attention to my mouse here, I'll run that command again. Keep your eye on the mouse, and it just jumped right over. So this Python script, this gives us Python instructions that will take the place of our mouse and keyboard and all our input methods. So let's do something like for I in range of maybe 45. That's going to be way too much, so maybe move 11 down, and or 11 in the X direction and 2 in the Y direction. Let's see where that ends up. Save that, put my mouse right about here, and run that command again. That way you can see it moving a little bit slow. Something like controls. Oh, need to go way further than that. So let's try 21. 2. And I'm lining up with this little dot here and right past this. Hopefully y'all can probably already see where I'm trying to go with this. That'll work. That's where the mouse ended up there. Then we can do pyautogui.click and pyautogui.write. Hello, automated world. That seems like a good test. Give that a save, and then again I'm going to try to line up right about where I was. Somewhere around there. Run that. You can see our mouse moves around, clicks, and inputs those commands from the keyboard. So very, very useful for automating tests. Like if you put together a nice GUI program and need to automate the test, you probably want your mouse to click around on things. We have absolute moves and stuff, and move to absolute positions and stuff. That could be helpful for automated testing. Rubber duckies for ethical penetration testing hacking reasons. So you just have some commands on the flash drive and auto runs when you plug it in. Does a bunch of maintenance features, that sort of stuff from ethical hacking reasons. And as always, make sure you check the official documentation first. That's hard to follow. So you'll look at official documentation, then probably jump over to a tutorial. But always check official documentation first, because tutorials get out of date. So you can see click, move to, move. The move is move relative, and move to is absolute positioning. Hold down the shift key, press the escape key, and you can take the place of our inputs, which is great for automated testing when there's a GUI. So just Google pyautogui to see the actual library, but there's the two main things, right? Or three main things. Move the mouse around, click on a spot, and write some words from the keyboard. That's one I've found to be very, very useful. Let's get those extra words out of there. Over the year, I found that to be very, very useful over the years, and wanted to make sure and share it with you, because we did see some unit testing for things that work with the command prompt, but you probably want some unit testing on things with the GUI as well. So I'll close out of this, and I have another library I want to share with you that is going to be incredibly useful in the modern world, but sometimes academia moves slow, so it'll probably be a couple more years before it's included in classroom settings. Which the other library I just mentioned, that started running a little bit long, and it passed 20 minutes. So I will do that in another video. So the pyautogui, one library per video, seems much more reasonable anyway than my initial plan. So that pyautogui can be incredibly useful for automated testing, setting up macros, making some rubber duckies for penetration testing, and ethical hacking. All sorts of really, really useful things to do with that I have found over the years. So I wanted to share that with you, and I have some more in mind, but trying to put two in a video made it go really, really long, and I had to jump back to an edit point and can't remember what I was talking about at that edit point. I just remember that is where we wrapped up the pyautogui stuff. So there'll be other videos coming out soon with some useful modules. Otherwise, once again, please remember everything will close and lock at the end of the semester tomorrow, which is Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you live in one of the western corners of the state, please keep in mind that time difference. See y'all soon.